Take time. That's rare that I'm on time. So, 27 calls for the month, 16 EMS. No calls were transported by the Sharon's POC. All the rest are transported by 391. There's 2 transports year to date. The fire incidents, there were 8, 3 motor vehicle accidents, 3 structure fires, and 4 brush or other alarms. 105 calls total for the year, and no resignations, and 1 recruitment. It describes one down here, Aaron File, who is Sharon Township has joined, trying to get him activated right now. He's currently a Belvedere firefighter. And on 5/16, we responded to 9 calls in a 24-hour period. I believe about 6 of those were in Sharon, the other 3 are in Darien. So between all the paid-on calls, luckily they didn't come all, more than one at a time, but it was a very busy day. Certainly exercised everybody pretty well that day. Mix of fire and EMS calls. 5/19, we had a motor vehicle accident, semi versus van, 14K with entrapment. We were able to get them out quite quickly and transported. No major injuries. We had a moderate injuries to the driver of the van. Semi had none. And then took the crews down to Boone County District 3 for work for training on interior attack and using the Darien ladder truck for vertical ventilation. Darien had 3 MVAs, motor vehicle accidents, 3 mutual aid fires, 8 fire calls, 17 EMS. 14 of those were transported by 391, 1 was transported by Darien POC, and we have 164 calls total there for the year. And that's it, unless you have questions.
Shared service. I just put that on there because we lost another medic.
Yes.
We're down to 1, right?
Yes, the one we hired in April. To be honest, he had a job career that he changed a lot of jobs. We were hoping he'd stick with us. He got a job at Great Lakes Naval Base, so you really can't blame somebody for moving up to that kind of a job. But we hoped he'd stay a little longer. He is going to work part-time. He's taking a shift tomorrow. We got another shift at the end of the month, so he left on good standings. So we're back to shopping for another medic. We're down to 5 full-time people. We have brought on the EMT basic, Tyler Wilson, so he started on the 1st, and so a bunch of us are filling that spot. Flat out front, we will not have a medic on all the time. We're down to 1 paramedic and a couple part-times, but it's going to be a struggle. So there just isn't much out on the market right now.
Nothing. Has anybody scheduled anything with the merger? Nothing.
No, Darien, we did have a meeting with the Darien boards. I felt it was probably best to, the Sharon boards meet separately, so I can let Carl know to get something scheduled. So and that would be have the study group come down and do the town and the village at the same time. I will say the Darien meeting, I think, went well. I think some of the attitudes going in maybe weren't merger-like, and by the time they were done, I think the attitudes were, say, open-minded. So better than I had hoped. So.
The next opening is August, right, for the grant?
Grant.
Innovation grant.
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't tell you when it is. I thought it was going to be November.
Yeah, it could be. I think it's kind of up in the air. They just said late fall.
Yeah, well, personally, I don't think we should rush into any of these things.
Absolutely. I think the money's going to be there for a while.
And it's a lot of money, but it's not worth doing something in a hurry that we make a mistake. So
that's why we didn't do it the last time.
So I'm not a fan of rushing into that, so.
All right, anything else? All right, police department reports and updates.
All right, going through my administrative report, I did send one over the internet, over line, but some changes have been added, so you should all have a printed copy out, go through it. General information, Wrench Life Auto Show went extremely well, with no law enforcement related instances taking place. We had 3 officers on, and we didn't have any calls, so went well. Next week, I'll be meeting with the chief from department in Dane County for a background check on a former officer of theirs who applied for a position here. That was an eligibility list that we put out on allowing that, so could be for full-time, could be for part-time. We had a small interview with him already. He seemed like he would be a good fit. He was in Fontana. He works on the police boat right now. Did work for Cottage Grove. Where I guess I'll be starting the background check next week. Department will be putting on an anti-scam seminar. They'll focus on different scams and frauds that are popular nowadays on June 17th at 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. at the Village Library. I'll be putting that on. I haven't yet asked Casey if he's going to help us. So he might be. And then also the Sheriff's Department's going to be coming in as well.
I think you just got asked.
Yeah, he's off that day, so I don't know. But then also Troy Payton-Coff will be coming down. We'll be doing a PowerPoint. He's going to be doing what I'm sure he has more expertise in because he's the head of the detective agency up there. Statistics. Oh, I'm sorry, and I didn't put down here. I just wrote it down. We did get a BVP or Bulletproof Vest Program grant. Accepted. I think that's up to $2,500 or something like that. So. We're not slated for anybody to get a new vest, but if we did hire somebody on a part-timer, they probably would need a vest, and then that would help pay for all of it. Statistics, as of today, State Department had a record of 553 calls service from May 11th to June 3rd. The total number of calls for service so far for this year is 4,139 calls for service. Major investigations this month. Detective Apker is following up on that sexual assault that we had last month, and another fraud case that carried up into the Green Bay area, and another sexual assault case, child neglect. We're just finishing that one up. And also had a weapons complaint, right? Mm-hmm. Clock camera was used once this month for a case 26-2903, which was in trying to find the person that was using somebody's credit card throughout the Green Bay area. For proceedings, we have 1 municipal trial. I think we might actually have 2 municipal trials. I think you told me that coming up next week. Circuit Court, we have 2 trials. Property compliance citations, I haven't received any citation reports. We issued citations last month or this month. Community service hours, none. Events with PD involvement, as I said, from that anti-scam seminar at the library. Vehicle maintenance repairs, unfortunately, Squad 3, that check engine light got activated. We brought it up to Kunis yesterday. He said it needs an O2 sensor and some spark plugs. The car was misfiring and jumping. So, cost of that will be approximately $1,200. And they will be working on that tomorrow. Hopefully it'll be done by Friday night, if not Saturday. I know we're going to talk about this in a little bit, but I put a link to the Purple Wave auction where Squad 1 has been listed on. That auction day will be on the 23rd of June. You can click on it, or just make it a digital part of it. Just drag it, put it in your browser, and it'll take you right there. So far, people have pre-bidded. They look good, $350. But usually that's what happens. It gets closer to the date that people start bidding on a little bit more. Vehicle miles, you'll see 37,000 on Squad 1. That's the Dodge we got from Sheridan. 7,525 on Squad 2. That's the news car. Squad 3, one that's in Kunis, has 79,000. Training, Sergeant Apter will be going to LEADA training, and then Officer Kirk Bogovich and Echo Kraut just came back today from intensive training, no cost. Social media information is listed there. Questions about the report?
So it's a law enforcement executive department association training. It's basically, there's 3 classes that go with the trilogy through LEADA, and the first one is executive leadership, the second one is command, and then the third one is supervisor. This was actually a grant that I was awarded from the FBI, so it's a week-long training and it's free to the department for me to go to it because I got the grant. So I'll be going to that next week.
That includes all 3 or just the one?
This will be just the one.
So this one is the executive one. November, I hope to go to the second part of it, which is the command one, and then I already applied for the one in March, which is at the FBI Academy again, which would finish out my leadership, or my trilogy, and I got the scholarship for that one too. So you can get 1 scholarship per year, per class, so I already got one for this year, and then I got mine already for next year in March, so I got both of those covered.
Natural question would be why are you going to this one versus the other ones first, but just because of the way it falls in the calendar, it doesn't really matter, you just gotta take all 3.
Whatever they're offering.
And if 2 of them fall in the same year, what's the cost per session?
So for the week-long class, it's $795 for the week-long class. So that's what I would need covered in November, to get the second one done, and then my last one in March of next year.
Anything else?
Yeah, I have a complaint. 102 North Street. I almost got hit head on going home from work the other day because of that boat sitting there. I could not see a car coming around that boat, and there he was right in my lane, and there I was right there. It's gotta be moved. Somebody is gonna get hurt, and I don't wanna be the victim that gets hurt.
I talked to Brad about that the last couple of days, about that same concern.
Yeah.
And he says there's nothing in the ordinance that prohibits a boat from parking there. But
So-
it's gonna have to go to general ops to look at it, to maybe put it in an ordinance, that no boat parking on the street. And then I've also asked Brad to look in to see if on the curb, how many feet can they park away from the curb?
So, do you have any other questions, or anything? Okay.
No,
So, yes, Butch had asked me about this, we're trying to get Austin to do it, voluntarily. I don't really have a lot of teeth in it, to be honest, because it's not listed in the ordinances. If we wanted there to be some kind of yellow curb painted there, or if we wanted a no parking area there, we'd have to go through general ops and then eventually the board to get it into the,
oh, there's gonna be an accident there, you mark my words. And
I do agree.
came-
I went-
And I came this close the other day.
I do agree, I mean, as soon as Butch told me, I went right out there and looked, and, Austin hasn't been home a lot, we've issued a couple.
He's home today, he's out riding his motorcycle.
So he's not home, he's riding his motorcycle.
Well, I'm saying he's in the area.
Yeah. So, again, we'll reach out to him and see if he'll voluntarily do it, I think he will, sometimes when I ask him things, he does do it.
Is there something in the county or state ordinance that,
Because it's not really approaching the stop sign, it's on the opposite side, so like a lot of the times you can't park there in front of a
Right.
stop sign. This coming around it, and again, I agree, we had this happen years ago, and I had it, some lines painted because we're on the bank. When we had some large vans parking there, you couldn't see around it, I think that's sort of the situation as well. So, if we wanna paint it, we can do it, I can ask, I can't demand, because that's not there. Again, I don't think any boats should be, but we don't have, it's not like Fontana or Walworth where there's boats all over the place, because then the whole place would be boats. You can't park boats in some of those communities on the roadway, but here, we don't really have a lot of people have both, so it hasn't been a problem. But I will, reach out to him when we're done with this meeting and see if he'll move it. Some of it's because we had to move all the other cars too. Problem. I'm sorry, what?
I said, wouldn't that be common sense not to park your boat on the side of the road?
I store boats.
You started with common sense.
No, my goodness sake.
But I will go out there.
Thank you.
Is it still parked there right now?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, yeah,
And then
oh, yeah,
2 days.
it's still parked there.
And I see the black car has a license, temporary license.
It does now, yeah. We've been dealing with that.
And the truck that's in the driveway,
It's in the driveway. We're making headway.
you're making headway, one day, one step. One day,
Baby steps.
2 steps forward, 5 back.
All right, anything else? Hearing none, moving on. TaserEvidence.com.
So I'll start off real quick and then I'll hand it over to Casey, who has a lot more knowledge about it because he's talked to the TASER people. So as
Do
a
you believe the
recap,
president has a fundamental
so we went from these 20, 25-year-old pieces of apparatuses here to the updated electronic weapons, which we need for our use of force, right, model. So we were able to get them from a couple of the Taser 7s from a department in California, got them super cheap. Then as we got those individual ones, but no, you have to have a docking station. So we reached out to Walworth, who upgraded theirs from 7s to the Taser 10, the newest one, the latest version. And they gave us a whole bunch of products, cartridges, testing cartridges, and a couple, another 7, right?
Yeah, three more sevens.
3 more 7s, and a docking station, all for
$600.
$600. So it's a great deal, which saved us
Like $3,000.
at least. So, good deal. But with that, now that it moved from one department to another, we have to get into an agreement with Axon.com, which is, the Axon body cameras, the tasers, the manufacturer of that. So we had to buy a software package, because that's like, if you deploy the weapon, you have to put it into this this banking system that not only charges it, but also, because it's hooked up to the internet, downloads all the information. And to do that, the rep came out with a cost. We asked them respectfully if they could make this much more affordable, and when we get to it in this little presentation that Casey's gonna give to you, we broke it down so it's much more manageable for departments. It's a 3-year commitment. And with that, I'll send it over to you, Sergeant.
All right, Chief printed out the paperwork. Under the situation, obviously you can see what we have, which is the Taser 7 handles, which is the actual Taser. They're fully functional. The officers have them out on the road right now. We're using those as our current Tasers instead of the old dinosaurs that we used to have. They're trained on it. It's ready to deploy at any time. Now, you can see what's missing on the right-hand side, which is what I'm asking you for, and that's the software for the licensing of it. It has all the configurations, all the settings to the tasers, which gives us the ability to program the tasers how we want to have them be function, which means you can turn the lasers off, you can turn the flashlight off, you can turn them on. You can have it so that when we're function testing the tasers, that if the officer accidentally pulls the trigger on it, it's not gonna fire one of the cartridges out.
Which is big, just so you know.
So
I've seen people deploy them into people's body parts.
So these cartridges are about $25 a piece, so we don't want these cartridges accidentally being deployed in the ceiling or into another officer. So being able to get those configurations, we would need the software program for it to be able to do that. And the biggest one is the tracking and the firmware updates that these tasers need to go through. The old ones that we used to have, they didn't have firmware updates. It was just, you got the taser, that's what you got. These new Taser 7s, they get firmware updates, whether the taser has a bug fix or something else that they need to push out that comes with the firmware update. once you plug in the battery to the charging port, it automatically updates the firmware to the battery. That's something that we're not getting right now because we don't have the software for it. As you can see on the next page, it goes under the policy compliance, legal protection, and the asset accountability. I just talked to you about the firmware updates. That's a big thing in the policy one. The legal is, so anytime that we take the taser out of the holster, without the software that I'm asking for, you're unable to see if the officer just takes it out of the taser, has it in a low position, not pointing at anybody. If we get the software, it will be able to tell you all that. So if somebody comes in and makes a complaint that the officer pointed the taser at them, I would be able to look right at the configuration and the software from what I'm asking and be able to see if the officer pointed it at a 90-degree angle at the person or if the officer had it at a downward angle, so we can alleviate any complaints that we get from the citizen. Also, with this software update, we would be able to, anytime the officer does a function test, we'd be able to get the graph showing that he did the function test, how long he did the function test for, and that's part of what we're requiring these guys to do before they go out on their shift to make sure that the taser is fully functional. If for some reason we do get into a deployment with the taser, it will show on the chart. I'll be able to upload from the program if the officer deployed the first cartridge, which is on the left-hand side of the taser, or the right cartridges, how long they deployed it for. If there was a malfunction with the taser, what the malfunction was. These are all things that we're not getting right now because we don't have the software that we need to be able to run these fully functional. The settings unlocked by licensing, that shows you a little bit what I was talking about, the flashlight, the tilt select, which is another huge function with these tasers. So I'm not going to point it in anybody's direction, but this is what the new taser looks like. There's a cartridge on the left-hand side, there's a cartridge on the right-hand side. If I turn it on, you will see this laser, or this cartridge right now is for close quarters. So if we're up close and personal with the person, what this does is it gives you a further distance between the two. With the tilt select, we used to be able to turn it sideways and then snap it back, and it would go to the standoff cartridge, which is on the right-hand side of the taser. The standoff one is for further distances. If you're about 20 feet away from the subject that you want to tase, you'd be able to just quick do a flick of the wrist, and it would go to that other cartridge. So as of right now, we're unable to do that. We would have to deploy the first cartridge and hope that we hit them to get to the second cartridge to use the capability like it's supposed to. So that's all in the settings. That's all that was taken away from us when we got these, because we were still under Walworth's configuration. So we were like, oh, this is great. You know, we had this feature. All of a sudden, once it got transferred to us, it was taken away from us. So these guys were trained about the tilt select, and all of a sudden now it's gone until you guys get the software. All right, bread and butter, what it's going to cost. So it's a 5-year contract. $2,437 needs to be covered in 5 years. I talked to our rep, and she was able to break it down. Told her we were on a little bit of a budget. She was able to break it down. So to start us off, if you guys are to approve this and it goes to finance and they approve it, we pay $100 this month, and we will be started right away with the ability to do all the configurations and everything. Next year, the start of next year, it would be an additional $200 cost for all of next year. And then for years 3, 4, and 5, it would be $712.48 for the year. Or she said that we could get on a payment plan, which would be $59.37 a month that we would pay. So, in the grand scheme of things, I think this, $59.37 for year 3 and 4 and 5 is doable, especially if we budget for it. And the low cost right now for this year and next year is $300 between the 2 years. I think that's pretty much all I got for you.
What if we paid for a 5-year license? Is there a big difference in savings?
No, it would just be, if we could pay all up front right now, the $2,400, and be done with it and not have to worry about the next 4 years after this year. Or because I said we didn't budget for it this year, she was able to break it down a little bit more for us.
I don't think there's any interest that occurs. I would hope that we go with the 5-year program, only because we're gonna, now with the car having problems, and then also the IT or the, all the computer work that we had to do to get this thing going costs a little bit more too, so. I think the better option is, and maybe next year you decide, okay, we have enough money next year to budget for the whole thing. And it makes it cleaner on the books, I don't know, it's a good question for Don, but I think we should start off on this, and then it's only, what, $100?
Yeah, $100 for the rest of the year.
Get all the guys are trained to do it this way, the software allows us to do, and then, move forward maybe next year, we decide we want to do the whole thing, we're making. Honestly, in 5 years, these tasers are gonna change again.
And I mean, these numbers are very flexible according to our rep, so whatever we think is a good number to pay, or whatever we're able to pay, at least it'll change the amounts for the remaining years that we don't pay for.
You said it was how much a month?
$59.37 per month for years 3, 4, and 5 if we do the monthly payments.
So the down would be what?
Those are
Is that the total then?
Yeah,
Is there a down to start?
just
just $100.
yeah, just $100 for the rest of this year, just to get
Well,
going.
I'm sorry, you said $100 to start this month, but that's for the whole rest of the year.
Yes, it's for the year.
That's what I
So
thought.
if we pay, because I told them we were gonna have the finance and everything this month, so that's why she put June on there. So once, if you guys do approve it and everything, that, as soon as we pay the $100, then we'll be up and running, and I'll be able to get the access on Axon and, do all the configurations and all that stuff.
That takes you to June.
Is this a calendar year or
Yeah,
month to month?
Yep.
Calendar year.
correct,
So we have 6 months on this year.
correct.
Yes.
But if we did say yes, we're committing to the 5 years. It's just whatever we decide to do, like price wise.
Okay. So $100 to finish this off this year, $200 for the full year next year, and $712 for the next 3 years.
Correct.
Yes.
I make a motion that we go with the program, start up to $100, and go as they have laid out here.
I'll second that.
Send this under the board. Any other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Okay. I lost mine. Update on squad sale, you gave us that already.
Yeah, I'll be on the 23rd.
Code enforcement report.
I have some issues with that. Yeah, I did speak with Allison. I got one for the person. And, I have a brand new roof, but according to her inspector that came out, please repair or replace the porch roof with proper exterior materials to ensure the structure is weather tight and good condition. And goes on to my porches and decks, handrails were not adequate, and so forth. And my roof is not even 2 years old. My handrails are wrought iron. And, my deck is in good shape. So I called, Allison. I called her office. They were kind of hesitant, because I asked for the inspector to come out and talk to me, just so he could explain what he was seeing that I wasn't seeing. Now, they did take a lot of photos on the 14th, which is a separate issue I'll bring up. But Allison, and I had called 3 times before Allison finally called me on Tuesday night. And she looked over the photos, and she goes, well, I see you have a pergola with this netting on it. I said, yes. She goes, that's totally correct. That's what he was talking about. He was taking that as part of the structure because it's connected to the house and the way I built it. he was there on the 14th, and a letter was written on the 19th. I received it on the 28th, and her signature's on the bottom. But she wasn't the one who did the inspection. I'm kind of looking at that going, okay, who did the inspection? How?
She's the one we have the contract.
Was
With
her
the sign.
But her, yeah, it's her company. Okay.
That would be why I would think she would sign it instead of the other person.
For her. Well, I know I work for a contracting company, if we do fire inspections, my name goes on all those reports.
On those, but on the billing and everything.
Yeah. They have a lead.
Okay, but I'm sure the overall is there too.
Probably, yeah, probably.
And that's what I'm saying, is she's gonna sign off, hoping they're doing their job, just like
Yeah.
they're hoping you're doing yours.
Yeah. So kind of questions being, of this report, what other mistakes have this inspector made? Kind of throws a red flag up at me. Just points of interest.
Look into that. See how many times she has somebody else doing it for her.
Yeah.
Maybe we need better training.
Yeah. Are they certified inspectors?
I don't think so.
I would hope so.
I would hope so. I can't say.
At least she was able to follow and recognize issues with that, but they were not. So, she's not doing that stuff before I send it out.
Get that.
All right.
Yeah, I have a, concern, why are, on this report, why do we have citations ready and we're not issuing them? There's a few on here, citation is ready, but hasn't been issued. 101 Grace Street, 126 Seymour Street,
Have you issued it?
230 Martin Street.
Were we waiting on that till Eric had his training, in case people come back, to ask about if he's qualified for the, to say about the trees? Was that what we had? Remember he was gonna go to that class, the arborist one?
This isn't about trees.
Oh,
No,
okay.
this isn't about trees,
Okay.
this is about,
So, I'm just trying to bring that, the email up. It's, usually, what I look for all the time is if it's in red, right? That's how that citation goes. I didn't see any in red. So when she says they're ready, I mean, how the process goes, and I'm supposed to get an email that has a citation report, and then I look at it and see that it's on red on there too, and then I issue a citation. But I haven't gotten a citation report, which is how we usually do this. I can't bring it up on my phone right now, so.
I've read on other things, but not on that, but it does say.
I mean, just as the citation's ready, doesn't mean it's ready that
Not
I would
complied,
issue.
citation ready, updated photos, not complied.
It's gotta be an official citation report, that's what it's called, she always emails it to me, and then I know that she wants me to issue one. I mean, I just got that piece of paper yesterday.
It should be here tomorrow. Right? Should be tomorrow. Possibly tomorrow.
I mean, I'll contact her and she wants me to start issuing.
Was she supposed to give you the report, right?
Right.
So that you know to issue?
Yeah, citation.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten it.
Okay.
For 2 months, to be honest.
Okay.
She couldn't work for 2 months.
What?
She couldn't work for 2 months.
Oh.
She was over budget.
On this one, it says not complied, citation ready, goes back to 1/8/26.
I'll I'll reach out to her tomorrow and see if something's changed.
Yeah.
The way we have been doing it for all these years is not how it's being done now.
Some of the sub properties have been on the report since 2023.
Absolutely.
2023, and they're still not doing what they're, you know,
So what would you like to do for that?
I think they should be fined
Can I make a suggestion?
every month.
But you need to say that louder.
I think they should be fined every month if they're not gonna comply with the rules of the village,
Thank you.
you know?
Can I make a comment? I asked a couple years ago if the board could give her the authority to issue the citations. It's a different board now. It might take the middleman, which is me, out. I know that, at that time trustee Drexler didn't want that to happen. There may have been another person that said, I only want the chief to be able to issue citations. And I was fine with that. But you might take the middle person out of it if you give her the authority, because there's so many other communities that she works with, they give her the ability to go onto Tracks, which is the software that allows you to issue the citation. And, they give her the authority. Then you don't have to worry about, did I get the report, did I, we get questions all the time about property stuff, and I always like, well, you have to ask Allison. So, it's just a suggestion, but maybe we could revisit that. And maybe with a different, board right now, maybe they would say, we're paying that firm a lot of money, they could issue the citations as well. Because it does take a lot of time for me to do that.
It is a lot of money for the same person over and over and over again, but I don't know what you do about that. If you issue them citations and they actually can't physically or monetarily afford that repair, I don't know what